On Two Wheels this week, Wayne tries his hand at sidecar speedway. I spend a day trail riding with the TRF and a few more two-wheeled cock-ups.
A number of weeks ago on our programme, I opened my big gob, which is not unusual. At the BMF show, I mentioned the fact that I like the idea of having a go in one of these speedway sidecars. Well, as you can see, I've got the boots, I've got the gear, I've got the helmet, I've got the gloves. Someone's supplying a bike and a rider, so I've no excuse. I can't get out of it. I've got to have a go. To be honest with you, I can't wait. Whew, now that was the business. Ivor, that was absolutely fantastic. First question is, was he any good? Like, do I get a job or not?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be going 20 mile an hour faster as we were doing a bit, but yeah, no, you did well, you did fine.
Oh, I did fine, eh? But you didn't offer me a job. Never mind, no, I don't want a job. It was exciting, but a couple of laps, that's enough. And in a second, when you go out there and do your bit, I'm going for a massage and a sit down, if I can find someone to do it. Tell us about these things. I mean, it's a very, very strange looking thing. I don't mean the colour, that's quite attractive, and it matches your suit, fine. But it is an unusual thing. You wouldn't ever see this in any other sport, or would you?
You'd see something very similar in the world of grass track, but they're very, very specialised things. I mean, as you've just experienced, they only turn right. They're designed to do one thing, and that's to turn right, and that's what they do very, very well. There are a few basic differences between this and a grass track bike. These have got no suspension, obviously just on the front, no rear or sidecar suspension, whereas a grass track bike would have. And the engine in these is much further back because this surface gives you a lot less drive. Moving the engine back gives you more drive.
Got you. You're not in the right shape when you go around the corners. I noticed that. I thought he's steering this completely wrong. But now I realise you've got bent handlebars. Is there a reason for this peculiar shaped handlebar?
Yeah, when we first saw these, I've raced in Australia a few years ago, and we looked at them and thought, God, they can't be right, because grass track bikes tend to have almost ape hanger bars that you steer like this, and they looked most uncomfortable. But when you're out there, because when they turn, it actually brings the handlebars flat.
Got you.
So while you're in a straight line, one's down and one's up. When you're sliding, it brings them.
I knew there was a reason. I mean, I've been selling bars like that for years, and people have been bringing back to me. Right, so I've sussed the handlebars out. I think I've sussed out what I'm supposed to do, but I'm not really so enthusiastic about actually racing them. I mean, 4 of them going round in circles very, very fast. Sounds a bit iffy to me. So I reckon the best move is now. So you better go and do some racing. Get your mate Simon in the sidecar and go and do your bit. Win a couple of races, won't you? Because you know that's what we've come for, to see you do your bit. And then we'll have a word after you've done your races. say now, then the lads are having a well-earned rest, sitting down on the job. I don't know why you sat down, lads. It was easy. I mean, he's been sat down all night on this thing. You've been moving around, haven't you? Simon and Ivor, you're obviously very impressive. We watched you go around very, very quick, and it looks very exciting. The truth is, do you enjoy it? Do you really enjoy going out there, working up a sweat? Okay, you're still sweating.
Yeah, well, wouldn't do it if we didn't.
That's true.
Wouldn't spend the money on it. So, yeah, absolutely.
How about you, Simon? Yeah?
Just an adrenaline junkies, I think that's all we are.
Yeah, you do get a buzz out of it, don't you? You do get a bit hyper, and I know I did when I was on it, and I wasn't really going very quick. But you go an awful lot quicker, and you still have time to wave at the camera and so on, you poser. Tell us a bit about the sport now, then. I see these four-side cars, and they go very, very quick, but they go the wrong way. Why do they go the wrong way? Just because of the shape?
Well, no, it's just history, I guess. Always gone the wrong way. That's the wrong way for speedway track, anyway, certainly. Have to turn the lights round and all that.
Did you start in the grass track scene then before you come to this?
Yes, I did really. I got thrown in at the deep end. I was between rides really, and I was late passenger before. He broke his arm in Germany, and then I was thrown in the deep end with Ivor. So I was relatively new to the scene, but got thrown in with Ivor, who's been about a bit. And
hang on a minute now, Simon. It's been about a bit, hasn't it? Yeah, nice one. Yeah. No, listen, you're on about broken arms, thrown in a bit. I mean, no doubt thrown off on occasions as well. I mean, is there something wrong with you? Have you had a bang on the head? You know what I mean? Is it because of the adrenaline? Would you rather passenger than ride, maybe?
Well, I do ride as well. I've got my own outfit, so when Ivor doesn't race, then I actually ride in like club meetings. So, but yeah, I would rather passenger than ride. But it's too much to do on the front.
Yeah. Just going back to the sport in general. You're an ex-British champion in the grass track. How are you getting on in the old speedway scene then, Ivor?
We were second in the British Championships last year, and we've got that meeting again here in the not too distant future. So hopefully we'll go one better this year. We
hope you do. And now, if you do need any help with any tuition, I'm not the man to ask, obviously. No. We do wish you all the best with that. We hope that coming and doing, me having a go at this and showing this enthuses people, you lot out there, to consider coming and watching this sport, because it is very, very exciting. So why don't you go and watch them?
No fancy leathers this week, no fancy shiny paintwork, no fancy race replicas. This week we're going to get dirty, full of mud, because we're going trail riding, off-road riding. Or not off-road riding, apparently it's called off-tarmac riding, or something, I don't know. All will be explained. So here we are on a grand day out in the back of beyond, the middle of nowhere, with the Lancashire TRF, and this is chairman of the Lancs TRF, John Gardner. Is that the right title, chairman?
Yes, Paul, that's correct.
That's a grand title. How do you get to be chairman of the TRF?
I turned up late for an annual general meeting on one occasion and I made me chairman, so I've been chairman ever since.
Oh, is that your punishment, right? Well, tell me, what is the TRF to the people who don't know, and what do you get up to?
The TRF is the Trail Riders Fellowship. It's a national organisation dedicated to the preservation of green lanes and unsurfaced, untarmacked legal roads.
So is it a massive organisation? Do you have loads and loads of members?
No, there's about 2,000 members nationally, and it's organised by county or by region. For example, in Lancashire we have some 40 or 50 members. In Ribble Valley, which is also part of Lancashire, they have another 40 members. I think the Peak District has 3 districts in it, and it covers most of England and Wales, but not Scotland, because there's different laws apply in Scotland.
Oh, right. What, different laws as regards to using different parts of the countryside?
Different laws applying to rights of way,
right.
Yes.
Right. OK, so it sounds rather like an owners' club in a way. It's a national thing, but there's branches throughout the country. Do you get together with other people and you go and visit them and they come and ride in your parts?
Yeah, very much so. We'll go and stay for a weekend with a group down in the south of England, and they'll come up to ride with us in Lancashire and in Yorkshire, or in the Peak District. I've just led a group over in the Isle of Man for a long weekend, and Isle of Man's excellent for trail riding.
Yeah, oh, I can imagine. Well, what kind of people do you get? I would imagine you don't get the boy racer, is that right?
Yes, I think the odd boy racer that comes finds that perhaps it's not for him, because the one thing we're not doing is racing. We're riding responsibly and using only legal roads, which gives us opportunities to see the countryside and yet sort of preserve the roads that we've got.
Right. And I think there's one or two guys here with us today that have done a bit of motocross in the past and trials. Is that the case?
Yes, I think there's a lot of retired trials riders and perhaps retired motocrossers who come out on these bikes with us. It's our rather slower, steadier pace.
So this is the TRF Home for Retired Trails Riders. I think that's a better title, don't you?
I think it could well be that, yes.
Another member of the Lancs TRF is this man, Countryside Warden for Wildlife, is that right?
Well, Wildlife Warden for North West Water.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, North West Water, as I understand, own virtually all this land that we've been on today.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
All the trails we've rode today are
Right.
on North West Water land.
So we're quite good to have you on our side, aren't we?
Hope so.
I think we are, yeah. So
Yeah, some of them were concessionary routes that have been negotiated with
Right.
North West Water. So we've got the keys to the gates, and we ride them about 7 times a year.
Right. So what there must be problems with. I mean, bikes have got a bad image. Like it or not, they've got a bad image. There's a stereotype. People think bikes around the countryside, they're going to frighten the animals. I mean, how do you
Well,
get
I
over
mean, the
that?
bikes won't frighten the animals at all because you go past quick. You're not there for a long time. But we do get a problem in certain areas, and it's mainly young lads, which is a shame. They've got bikes that are not road legal.
Yeah.
They just scream around. Some of them have been pinched.
Yeah.
And it gives all bikers then a bad image.
Right.
So here in the TRF, all our bikes are road legal,
Yeah.
and we try and educate them. Certainly when we're out and about, if
Yeah.
we come across any lads motocrossing as such, we'll stop, we'll have a chat,
Yeah.
and usually they've got a problem.
Yeah.
You know, the bike's not legal and they can't get about places.
Right.
But
Right.
at least we can it gives us the opportunity to chat and explain the problem they're causing for
Yeah.
other bike users,
That's
certainly
right.
trail riders.
Right. Excellent. So you think were we winning the battle in the countryside?
Oh yeah, we're winning slowly but surely.
So perhaps you're wondering what we're using for all this mucky stuff. Well, I'm actually using this oldish Yamaha XT350. I'm not being rude there, Roger. This is Roger Davis, the man who's very kindly, very foolishly let me ride this bike of his. Roger, without being rude, this isn't worth a fortune, is it?
It's certainly not, no.
So
No, it's
what would you get for this?
probably around about 800, maybe even £1,000, possibly.
Right. So that's just what the point I'm trying to make is that you don't have to have fancy stuff to have a lot of fun with this, do you?
Certainly not, no. You can spend £500 and you can have a bike that will give you an awful lot of enjoyment, or you can go to the other extreme and spend £4,000.
Right. Yeah, so we've got everything here from this. I mean, XT350, it's, solid sort of thing, but nothing fancy. XR250 over there, Honda, I mean, £4.5 grand's worth. And I noticed we've got 3 bikes today, these Yamaha Ceros, which is a grey import. Is that unusual?
It's not unusual at the moment, but then the big motorcycle companies don't seem to send us the sort of bikes that we require.
Oh, right. So
we
you're
have to
saying...
buy things under a grey import.
Oh, right. So what you're saying... What are you short of? What's the trail bike world short of?
The best sort of trail bikes are things that are light, they're economical, they have a long range, because where we ride quite often garages are few and far between. They must be cheap, they must be easy to repair,
Right.
and they must be reasonably powerful to have a reasonable road speed.
Right. So you're looking at, what, sort of 250-ish? 250 cc's?
And anywhere between 200 250 is the best sort of
Right.
capacity for what we do, yes.
So your argument to the manufacturers who are all watching this now is you haven't got enough choice when it comes to 250 trail bikes, is that right?
That is right, yes.
Right.
That's why we've so many grey imports.
Right, I see. Right, all right. Well, they're doing well. These little 225 Ceros are going the bomb today. But not just the bikes. I mean, you can spend as much or as little on the bikes. But the gear, I mean, I've got my dirty old motocross boots on that I've had for donkey's years and a scruffy nylon. And you won't have any more fun, will you, if you spend thousands than the guy who spends 500 quid. Is that right?
That is right, yes. This is certainly not a fashion parade.
Yeah.
We tend to ride through the winter and once something gets covered in mud and once it's raining a lot, everything looks about the same.
Right. Alan Hodson, Honda man, XR 250. 250.
Yes,
Nice
that's
bike, smart bike. Fully kitted out, all the fancy gear. What do you get out of this, Alan?
Pleasure, absolute pleasure. It's just enjoying riding motorbikes.
Yeah.
Not on tarmac,
Right.
although on roads.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Right, because these are roads, aren't
Yes, they are. Yes, it's not off-road as such, it's off tarmac,
Right.
and that's the difference. They are, as you've said before, they have to be legal motorcycles
Yeah.
because you're riding on roads. But the terrain doesn't look like a road
No.
because people haven't used it, so
Right.
there's no tarmac there.
And have you done anything like this before? I mean, have you done any off-road stuff, motocrossing?
Yes, I've competed in motocross, but that was many, many years ago when I was, yes, a lot younger. But what I like about trail riding is the fact that you can go at your own pace.
Yes.
It's not a competition, and you just enjoy yourself riding your motorcycle for between 8 and 10 hours a day. It's wonderful.
So you must cover a lot of mileage. I mean, we've had a bit. We've disrupted your run today, I
Yes,
know,
you
because we've stopped with cameras and had you going past us and all this. But how far would you go on a typical run?
Between 80 and 150 miles, but obviously that depends on the terrain.
Right. And all over the country?
Yes, Hampshire, Oxfordshire, Wiltshire,
Right.
Wales.
Where's the best part of the country for trail riding? I know what you're going to say. You're going to say Lancashire, aren't you?
No, Yorkshire probably.
Yorkshire.
Yes, even though I'm a Lancashire man. Well, I don't know. Wales is good as well. You know,
They're all
North
good,
Wales,
aren't they?
They are.
Yeah.
There's some superb lanes.
I thought I knew this area. I don't live far from here, as you know.
No.
And I thought I knew this area fairly well. I've seen places today and visited places that I didn't even know existed.
Exactly. And the sights that you see are wonderful. The wildlife, it's great.
Right. Do you go abroad doing this?
No, I don't. I have to have a word with Hilda, my wife, about that.
That's the next step, is it?
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, yeah.
Now, as you can imagine, when you're out on these roads, very, very bumpy, very, very sharp rocks on some of them, you get some damage to your bike occasionally, punctures, etc. Now, this man, Peter Nagg. Peter, you're head of maps and jargon. That's right, isn't it?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, right. Well,
Talk all day about rubbish.
about byways and highways and
That's right,
ruts
yeah.
and what they call these things. Ruts.
Rups, road use of public paths, byways.
Oh. Right, look, forget that. I'm not into the jargon. What I want to know is this. I saw you fiddling in
Yeah,
there
this
before.
is-
This very comprehensive toolkit that you've got here. Is there anything you can't fix?
No, this is the compulsory toolkit. Carries just about everything for the bike in there. There's a hand pump in there as well. A couple of spare tubes. Tow rope just in case we can't get the bike going. So we pulled many a bike occasionally on the road, although you've got to be very careful.
Have you ever been out and something's happened, like you've had a breakdown and with your multitude of attachments here, not been able to fix it?
No, I've been dragged home once or twice before with the old tow rope when the piston's blown in the engine.
So what's the biggest problem you get on these roads? Is it punctures?
I think punctures, yeah. Obviously, you've got to make sure that all the nuts and bolts are tightened up. I mean, when you're on the road, you don't often get a lot of vibration, but when you're on the rough stuff, most of the nuts and bolts have got to be really tightened up. Make sure you got the lock washers on and everything else like that. Otherwise, you'll soon find bits of your bike start dropping off, and you've lost them when you turn around.
Yeah, I can imagine. Right. So, so you're a good man to have along, aren't you, with this?
Yeah, I've just actually given somebody 2 paracetamols. Who've just
Have you even got them as well?
Yeah.
Medical kit as well, is it? Flipping
Yeah, a
out.
little bit as well.
This man thinks of everything. Brilliant. Fantastic. How do people get involved?
Well, we have adverts in a number of national monthly magazines, and also we're on the internet, or you can find us through the BMF.
Right. And is it the TRF? Is it a club? I mean, there's a membership fee.
There's a national membership fee of £18 a year,
Right.
and many of the regions charge an extra £3 or so to be a member of that particular county's branch.
Brilliant. It's an absolute bargain. Don't miss out on this. It's great fun. So just to keep the crowd entertained a little further, I'm going to do some impressions. Farmyard impressions. Wayne, get off that tractor!
Yes, you did.
Can I ask this officer here what's going on? Excuse me. Oh, it's you!
Hello, Paul. How are you, mate?
How come you've got a fancy jacket? I've got this thing.
Times are hard, mate. I've took a part-time job and I'm a traffic warden.
What? Just for the night?
Just for the night, yeah. Just a couple of quid in, yeah. In fact, just give me that, man. I just need a word with these lads over here. Excuse me, you can't be parking these bikes here, son. I say. And welcome to the Two Wheels Better Fashion Extravaganza Fashion Show. Yeah. Said the flitter had a lot of feeling. We're going for fashion show.
Fashion show, you can't
It's a lot
say
easier.
extravaganza. Alright, carry on.
So welcome to the Two Wheels Better Fashion Show.
Come on, Jeff, give us a song now. Dickie Bowen.
What am I going to sing?
Sing a silly fall. How the food, how the who. You look like Frankie Vaughan. Just tell us, in what year was the first TT? Nice and simple, that. Send your bollocks. Next year, send your answers. Bollocks. It's the first one. That's the first one I've cocked up, anyway.
I can't believe this.
Okay, let's go.
Hiya.
Hi.
Are you allowed to talk to us? Television.
Who are you?
Right, stop laughing now. You're going to make me laugh.
No motorways,
No, I know.
no toll roads. Everything's 90% of the stuff's free.
Yeah. On Two Wheels next week, with more people still buying second-hand than brand new, we take a look at 3 sports bikes between £3,000 and £4,000.